Hello, everybody. It's Chuck Patton, and this is the Purr Play Sip Podcast put on by yourself, Chuck Patton, Purrprietor of Purrfect Day Cafe. A lot of R's, a lot of rolling, but we're super excited to be here with you in June now, or in July, to give our June updates that we have so far. So to let you guys kind of acclimate in here, this is the Purrfect Day Cafe. We're in Louisville, Kentucky, as well as Cincinnati/Covington, Kentucky. And I, in my office right now, has about 15 kittens in here. We're closed on Mondays, so I figured what better way to create a workspace than to have 15 kittens in here and kind of give you guys an idea of what it is that we do. So what I'm really wanting to do and I'm very passionate about is trying to make an impact on our community, but also starting to make sure that that is an impact across all of our communities. So I'm going to kind of give you an update on what it is that we've done for June and kind of relate that to a little bit about what you can do as an individual in order to help out these kitties. If you are somebody that's watching this or you subscribe to our channel, again, this is an opportunity for you to figure out and to find out a little bit about all of these babies that are in here, how you can make an impact on that, and then also just a little bit about how cat cafes work. Give you kind of an update on what it is that we're trying to do. Right now, we're in kitten season. And just to let everybody know, not everybody knows what that is, but basically about 60 days from the day in which it is warm enough to breed, then we start seeing kittens everywhere. And there are cat cafes, there are shelters that have these kittens inside of there. Yes, kittens get adopted a little quicker, and I'll give you more of a feedback on that, but also there's about 7 times as many. So the resources into going in to homing these babies are quite astronomical. So, and I want to give you a little bit of an update. We work really, really hard here. We have an amazing team that really cares about these animals, and we do whatever we can in order to get them adopted. We try to be transparent as possible. We expect results of ourselves, and we hope our community expects that as well too. So, giving you some feedback on that, we at our 2 locations, Louisville did 156 adoptions this month alone. And that was great. We're very thankful for that. But ironically, this is one of the lowest months that we've had since we started in 2018. So now, that being said, one of the reasons it could be is because we started kitten season a little bit later. But it is just one of those things where I think nationwide, what we're hearing is adoptions are down. Now, it could have been during COVID. Everybody got a forever friend, so that's one of the reasons why. But in all actuality, we're down, and we consider that a challenge. So we're trying to get on that. As far as our Covington location, we actually did 81 adoptions there. So that is up over 145% from last year. Covington location is not quite as old. Now, one of the things that we're truly proud of here and that all cat cafes can help be a part of is that we're trying to create an experience that brings in more adoptions because our community truly is involved. So we want to give a huge shout out to this community. The average kitten in Louisville is here 2.5 days. So yes, they go very, very quickly. One of the things to consider is that on Mondays here, we're not closed, or we are closed, and we are not open, so that's an extra day right there. As far as the kittens, again, 2.5, but in Louisville, what is amazing is the average adult cat only stays here 3.71 days. So adult cats, they're surrenders, they're strays, they're all out there, they don't know what to do, and they, they're desperate situations, maybe there's a death in their family. They give those cats to our shelter partners, just like most cat cafes do, and we get them adopted in 3.71 days. So it's incredible. Again, truly thankful for what our community is doing, but that's kind of the progress. As far as Covington is concerned, again, it's same numbers, but it's what's ironic about it, the average kitten stays in Covington less than 2 days, so that's 1.97. The average adult is 5.70. So again, very, very competitive on amongst each other, but across the United States, these are really, really quick numbers. and getting them adopted that quickly is really kind of the secret to also keeping them healthy. The reality of it is we're an extension of the shelter. So the number one thing that we can do to keep cats healthy is to making sure we get them in and we get them out as quickly as possible. So that is one of our objectives. That's what we sit here. That is one of the main takeaways that we have. And even though the kittens are really, really quickly adopted, the resources that go into it are astronomical, and the shelters need your help for that. So if you know about the Cat Cafe, Purrfect Day does a ton of adoptions, but it's not the only thing that we do as well, too. So I'll give you a couple more updates. In the Northern Kentucky location, we donated over $8,000 this upcoming June into all of our general partners that are out there that help the cafe help bring the cats into the cafe itself. And we were also a official sponsor in Louisville of the Tucks and Tails event. So that's the platinum sponsor. I think that was their second highest sponsorship that we have. So we have a little bit of a different model, and we think it's essential to what it is that we're trying to make an impact here. Number one is the adoptions. Number two is we take 50% of our tips. And when people come in here, they will know that 50% of those go directly to our shelters. And they also go to other causes that we have that are shelter related or animal related as well. Now, the reason why that's such a big deal is that if you as a consumer wanted to come in and you said, hey, I tell you what, we want to make an impact, what can we do? We just say, well, throw an extra $10 onto your tips. And those, of course, get shared, and 50% of those go towards those shelters. Now, the reason why this is such a big deal, and one of our favorite pieces, in Louisville, for example, the cats come from 58 different counties. In order to make that happen, you have to have a human being and a truck and inflated gas prices in order to go all the way to different counties throughout our area, as far as Western Kentucky, Eastern Kentucky, Pikeville, and they go get those kitties and they're able to bring them back here and take care of them. Jefferson County, which is our county here in Louisville, as well as Kenton County, they have resources for the most part to take care of those cats. But when they start reaching into these rural areas where the lifestyle and the resources for these kittens are not as great, to me, that's one of the most rewarding parts. Hearing that we went to Browntown, Indiana, and these had places that either didn't even have shelters or they had cats that had sat in there for 5 months and then they come back to our cafe and get adopted in 5 days. That is truly rewarding. It's truly making an impact, and we want to be able to continue to do that. In order to do that, these shelters need resources. So everybody knows about situations where we don't have enough employees, they don't have enough team members. The shelters themselves, because they have some of the hardest work that you can possibly do, it's both hard on the heart as well as hard on the back. They need resources. They need resources for gas. They need resources for people, and our donations go directly to that. And it's been such a big deal for the shelters. Now, resources themselves, 25 to 50% of all their donations that go into all these shelters, it's very overgeneralized, but I think it's directionally correct. They're going directly to medical. Their medical expenses, their medicines, their foods, doctor's bills, they're all going up, and they need those donations. So that's why we're very proud to be a big part of it, and you all can be a part of that within the community, and making sure that when you come by and you know what you're doing, you're able to tip. And you know as well, too, that when you're in general taking care of things here at the cafe, that you're making an impact. So the way we work here is, again, we share the tips, and then all of our adoption fees, you're doing the adoption straight through the shelter partners themselves. And then other than that, everything else keeps our lights on. It keeps our team paid. It keeps all the fluffy stuff in here nice. It keeps our podcast going so we could reach out to further within the community and everywhere we possibly can. And as an extension of that, kind of a couple things that we're doing a little bit different. We call it thinking outside of the litter box. And that is, number one, it was National Kitten Day on Sunday, June the 10th. So we ran a lot of different events like that. But do remember, not only do we have kittens in here, but we also have some adult cats upstairs, and we have some teenagers in Covington. And you know what you're getting when you have a teenager or when an adult, and that can be of great value to people, especially when they're in a scenario where they just, they may not have the resources to be able to take care of a kitten. So what else? And remember as well, too, a National Kitten Day should be kind of a remembrance of what you can do to help. So these babies are everywhere. The first thing that I think of is fostering. Can you foster? Especially if you've got some kids, they're at home, you're home for the summer, what can we do? What a wonderful way to add some responsibility, make sure that they're ready for that. Even if you were getting ready to have your own kitten and you think maybe that's a possibility. Well, if you did foster, you could say, okay, well, if you take care of the cats and the kittens that we're fostering, then that will means we can take care of one forever. So what else? We also have a big campaign called Drink Beer, Save Cats. We have a collaboration with three different shelters that are out, breweries that are out here in order to help out our shelters. One of them is Braxton Brewing out of Covington, Kentucky, Darkness Brewing, which is in Bellevue, Kentucky, as well as the Gallant Fox, which is here in Louisville, Kentucky. We have more coming up, but at the end of the day, our mission is trying to get the community involved, and there are bars and there are breweries across the United States that do an amazing job of supporting animals. It's really kind of a likeness out here. People who, I don't know what it is, drink beer tend to really like animals. And so we want to encourage you again to remember that anytime you come by here, drink a beer, you're helping to save a cat. And the other thing is, the number one item that people talk about in the Cat Cafe is they ask us, boy, I think it'd be awesome to do this with puppies. And it's kind of difficult to do it with puppies. It's not the same thing. These kitties just sit in here and wrestle all night. and then they hang out. We come in the morning. You really can't do that with dogs. The dogs that are in need are especially the bigger dogs, pit bull breeds. So we don't really want to put 10 pit bulls in one room. What we are doing here is we have special events called the Hot Diggity Dog Night, as well as the Wine and Whiskers Night, Wet Nose Wednesday. So those are events that we are running here. We have one in July the 27th. So those are events where we actually have an experience with puppies. So there'll be 2, 3, 4, 5 puppies. We have something outside. It's an opportunity for you to get to know them. But again, it's some of them, they will eventually be adoptable, but it's also an awareness thing for everybody to figure out how they can help out and be a part of things. And of course, when you come in here and tip, you're able to help out. So that's kind of our thinking outside of the litter box with our puppy events and really trying to, again, make that impact within our community, get the community involved. So if you're one of our community of watchers and listeners, please do us a favor, obviously subscribe, but share this video with other people. This is an outreach. This is supposed to go organic. We want to get as many people involved in this, teach them as much as we can, and being able to get them all kind of active, socialized, but give you guys an outlet for really getting involved and making a difference. And that is what we are really all about. So if you like our podcast, please subscribe and share it with your friends. Try to get everybody involved. Talk a little bit more about how you can make an impact on these shelters. So it truly is a rewarding experience. We want you to be a part of it. Thanks so much, and have a perfect day. Bye-bye.